Okay. Good morning, everyone. The entire world is confronted with the outbreak of COVID-19 disease. The pandemic has precipitated a crisis which is unprecedented. It has also affected the judicial functioning in a profound manner. And we as lawyers are no exception to it. We are fortunate to have the distinguished speakers today to address us on the topic of judicial functioning in the post-COVID world. The speakers are the senior members of our bar and do not need any introduction. The participants are requested to post their comments or questions in the chat box. I would now request Mr. Percy Kavina to give us an outline of today's session, and then to Mr. Saurabh Soparkar and Mr. Mihir Thakur. Mr. Percy Kavina, if you just can give us an outline.
My dear and learned friends, as Archit said, the time has come for us to think ahead. And we've got two of our senior most distinguished lawyer friends here to show us the way. I just want to say 2-3 words and 2-3 minutes to tell you what is the sense of this house, or rather what is our intention. Our clear intention is to see that normal hearings, that is to say, face-to-face hearings between us lawyers and the courts, commence as soon as possible. But that is not going to happen in the near future. So the choice we have is that should we go around like this, gabarta, in the same vacation mode with 20 matters a day for the time that we can all go back to court? The thinking is that that is not a great idea. So video conferencing, which we are going to talk about today, the benefits and the hurdles, is merely a stopgap arrangement. This must be made clear to everybody. Nobody here is advocating that the face-to-face hearings will take the place of regular hearings. And both Mihir Bhai and Saurabh Bhai will talk to us about their experiences and understanding of the hurdles in our way and why we should go there. I just want to, I'm going to repeat myself. Nobody must have this idea कि आ video conferencing बहु विकसित रीते बहु widespread ચાલી જશે તો પછી personal hearing થશે જ નહીં. નહીં. My sense is the judges also don't like the video conferencing hearing. They feel out of touch with the lawyers. We also don't like it, but we have to make the best of what we have. So the idea is to work out strategies on this. And first of all, I will request Saurabh Soparkar to address you all.
Good morning, friends. Firstly, let me welcome all of you for this interesting webinar. All of us are passing through a very, very challenging time. So far, no live person has seen problems of this kind anywhere in the world. And the problem is not the seriousness of the problem only. The problem is nobody knows A, why the problems have taken place, B, what is the exact extent of a problem today, and C, how do we resolve the problem. In view of this, to continue to operate in this, if I use the Gujarati phrase khodangata manner, probably may not be a correct solution. Judiciary has practically stopped functioning, barring exceptionally urgent cases. Let me give you a statistic. I just checked up how many matters are listed on the board yesterday and today. We have got 5 learned judges taking up criminal matters, single judges, and 1 division bench operating in the matter. And I find yesterday there were about 150 matters listed, of which, please mark, 6 civil matters, 144 criminal matters. And today there are about 114 matters which are listed. Of them, 135 are criminal matters, 11 civil matters. Criminal matters are essentially bail and all incidental matters. In ordinary circumstances, there would have been hundreds of matters which should be conducted by the court. The question is, can we continue like this? As is being said, we must take this adversity as a challenge. We must find solutions to the problem, because it is not as if we are going to find a solution in the sense of elimination of corona problem in any immediate future. It's going to be 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, nobody knows. But a reasonable estimate can be that till the virus is found out and the cause of the virus is actually found out along with necessary treatment, the problem will continue to persist at some level or another. So it could be months before the thing is completely eliminated. I would therefore look at the problem from this perspective. To my mind, there are 4 different stages in which we'll have to look at the problem. One, or the first stage, during lockdown. Second, post-lockdown. Let us assume that lockdown is lifted wholly or partially from this Monday. But surely nobody expects the courts to start functioning from Monday. It's going to be quite some time, maybe a month, month and a half, till the courts actually start functioning. So the second stage would be after the lockdown is lifted, but before the courts actually start functioning. We'll have to find a common solution to this issue, namely during the lockdown until the courts start functioning. The third stage would be, though the court may start functioning, it's not as if the courts would start functioning in its normal manner with our hustle bustle, with a lot of people and hundreds of matters which we usually have, at least for a period of 6 to 12 months. Therefore, the third stage would be, how do we attack the problems which we will have even after the courts start functioning? And obviously, the last stage would be, which we do not know when we will reach, once the courts start functioning normally. Let's therefore look at the issue, at least at this stage, for the first 2 stages. During lockdown, and hopefully that is not going to be a long phase, after the lockdown is lifted, till the courts start functioning regularly, how do we really deal with the issue? All of us are aware that there is a reluctance on the part of all concerned in arguing the matter by video conferencing. I think it is going to be now a norm for us to adopt to the new technology. Today, I find there are 69 participants over here right now, and all of you are in a position to listen to me easily. I have not appeared in a large number of matters by video conferencing in the court, but during 4 occasions when I appear, I did not find it very difficult to argue. It takes little time for us to be acquainted, but then this will have to be done. But before that, number 1, with respect, we will have to request the learned judges also to start functioning on a full-fledged manner. It's only from this week we find 5 learned single judges and 1 division bench functioning. We have got 28 judges. Eventually, we'll have to ensure that all learned judges start operating, maybe from home office, but then it will have to be arranged. If for that registry will have to be strengthened, please, it has to be done. Judiciary is one of the important organs of the state. State cannot afford, society cannot afford to make judiciary go in a slumber. So if registry needs to be strengthened for the purpose of ensuring that all learned judges are given necessary support for the purpose of operating on a full-fledged manner from the residence, it will have to be done. Old days have gone now. More judges will have to now start working from home, and we will also have to start arguing from our residence or from our office by virtual hearing. Virtual hearing would also require, probably till actual physical filing in the court takes place, filing by way of e-filing. Now, e-filing has all its problems. First of all, we'll have to acquaint ourselves with the technology. We will have to equip ourselves with the equipments. So both physically and mentally, we will have to be ready for the purpose of arguing the matter by filing on the basis of e-filing. Friends, please mark, it is not difficult, it's a matter of mindset. Let me give you one example. I am giving this example because I am familiar. 10 years back, in income tax department, every document was filed physically. Income tax department over a period of last 5 years has completely switched over to electronic filing, and now not a single piece of paper is accepted physically. Everything has to be filed physically. And all tax practitioners have geared themselves to this, because if you do not gear yourself to the technology, you will be wiped out. Therefore, to say that A, we do not know, B, we cannot learn, C, we cannot afford, D, it is too complicated, none of these arguments are going to work. We will have to equip ourselves with the new technology. We will have to get the new instruments. Maybe it will be slightly expensive to begin with. In that situation, the bar collectively will have to find out solutions to the problem. If the scanning machine is very expensive for everyone to buy, bar will have to collectively, let's say, buy 5, 7, 10 scanning machines, install them at the bar room library for the purpose of benefit of all, and then ensure that it is being used, so that it is not as if people are not in a position to file petitions or applications for want of scanning facility. So unless you have got yourself ready to face these kinds of challenges, it's not going to function. Let me give you one small example, because as I discussed with Percy and Mihir, we would be having open discussion once these opening remarks are over. So let me close these opening remarks by giving you one interesting actual example. In England, in an English court, an adjournment was sought for on 1st April 2020 on the ground that because of COVID, a trial cannot take place. The application was made giving 4 reasons as to why the trial must be postponed. Trial was fixed for 5 weeks commencing from 8th June 2020. The 4 reasons which were given were: 1, because they applied to our case also. 1, according to the instruction of the Prime Minister of the country, everybody should stay at home, and therefore to insist for a trial to be run at this stage would not be appropriate. 2, because it's a trial, witnesses were to be examined, and if witnesses are to be examined, then it will be health hazard if you ask witnesses to remain present, and it is to expose them unnecessarily to all these complications. 3, technology is not good enough for the purpose of holding trials by way of video conferencing. And 4, it will be unfair procedure to the parties if you ask parties to argue from different places and argue complex matters of facts and law. By a detailed judgment, and I'll share with Archit, and whoever wants can take it from Archit, running into 19 pages, learned judges rejected each of the ground and held: 1, though it is the call of the Prime Minister to call the country in a lockdown stage, judiciary is an exception. To be fair, and in England, there is a Coronavirus Act to deal with the coronavirus issues. And in Coronavirus Act, there are provisions dealing with different segments of the society. So far as judiciary is concerned, there is a specific exception, and it is being treated as an essential service. I therefore put a question to myself: why is it that in India, we should not treat it as an essential service? Ultimately, dispensation of justice for the public at large is essentially a requirement of the society. So the first reason which the court said this is an essential service, you cannot lock it down because of lockdown. So far as health hazard is concerned, the court said it is theoretical. We'll deal with the problem it comes. In any case, witnesses can be given permission to travel for the purpose of examination. They can also be examined by way of video conferencing. Technology challenge, court says that it is completely incorrect to say, and court refers to another matter where in England a trial of an international nature, some party sitting in Belgium, some party sitting in Kazakhstan, some party sitting in England, some party sitting in some other European countries, the trial was conducted during this lockdown period, and The court therefore comes to a conclusion that it is possible to run the matter even during this period. The moral of the story that I want to drive at is, if we make efforts, it will be possible. And let me now close the whole discussion by this. Even if new matters may not be filed, maybe we can take out some steps for the purpose of running and completing old matters which are gathering dust, old AOs, old CRAs, old first appeals, which may not require very long arguments, can be taken up. Work must continue. Friends, if you put a Ferrari car in a garage for, let's say, a couple of months, it will be unfit to be run in a race till it is actually again used for a couple of more months. Deeper you go into the problem, more difficult it will be for us to come out. Therefore, this kind of lockdown is not good for us. I am not saying financially only, certainly financially, but also from the perspective of intellectual, moral. Who is happy in this situation? Therefore, we must find a solution, must find out ways and means by which we can make the court work again to the extent possible. These are my opening remarks. We'll then carry on a little further once as the conference proceeds further. Thank you. Percy Mihir can be now requested to come in. Mihir is muted.
I have not muted him, but Mihir.
Sir, Mihir Thakur.
Now I have unmuted myself.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Friends, good morning to all of you.
Bolo.
Hope all of you are fine and not affected by the corona, and those who are affected may get well soon. The facts are that the court has been practically non-functional for more than 50 days. 5 courts functioning is not functioning of the court. The court has to be made fully functional with all the judges sitting on a day-to-day basis. It may not be considered as an essential service like water, electricity, and groceries. But you cannot also consider courts as non-essential, as Mr. Soparkar put it. In England, it is already an essential service. In India also, it is an essential service and the court must function fully. Now, it is possible. And it is quite likely that we may not be able to reopen by 15 June or even 15 July. It may even happen till August, where regular court functioning can open. And even after the regular court functioning opens, social distancing may become the norm. So what should be done in this interregnum period is very vital. Now, what I have been told, and this is where problems are arising, that it takes a long time for fresh matters to be circulated. The reason why it takes a long time for fresh matters to be circulated are: 1, limited staff available with the registry. 2, limited staff has to fill up the data in their computer so that the numbering takes place of the petition, and this takes considerable time. 3, the petitions which have been uploaded have to be printed and sent to the residences of the honorable judges. So large number of petitions are required to be printed. For example, there were 114 or 140 petitions in the last 2 days. So all these petitions are required to be printed and sent to the respective residences. There is a limited staff, and I am informed that a staff of 3 to 4 people have to go to the residence of each judge. With limited staff, to send even for 5 judges would require 20 staff visiting their residence or their chamber if the judge has come to the High Court. With this background, the High Court as a whole with 20 courts may not be able to function, because it is impossible for the registry to circulate so many matters and for the judges to read matters if they have to be sent in hard copies. Now, what would be the solution to this? The first solution has to be that the problem is that the registry has to fill up all the details, and that is taking a lot of time. Via media can be found out that a link is sent to the lawyer concerned who is filing the petition, and he can fill up the details of the petitioner and the respondent, which may help the registry in uploading, accepting that uploaded petition as a petition. A proper system has been adopted by the Department of Justice, and there is a user's manual for e-procedure already published in August 2018. This is taking care of everything. It is particularly taking care of how it should be registered and how it should be uploaded. Every detail has to be filled up by the lawyer who is filing the petition, and the petition would be ready, available to the court. Now, this is available because it has been prepared in August 2018. High Court can as well adopt it for our High Court. That would reduce the burden of the staff. Second situation is that today it is that all petitions which are uploaded, I'm talking of fresh matters, are uploaded, are printed by the registry. It takes a huge time to print them. That should not be the norm. All petitions have to be sent to the office, to the residence of the judges by mail or in a cloud, and they must read them. Albeit it will be difficult for judges to read in the beginning. But if they start making efforts, maybe they will be able to read 2 petitions, 3 petitions, 4 petitions. It will be baby steps, but with such baby steps, they will be able to read the petitions online, and it is possible. I have been able to conduct 3 matters without printing a single page. I am sure the judges can also do the same. It is also advisable that no staff member should visit the judge's residence, because that would be endangering not only the judges but the staff members. So everything has to be done online. Even the dictation has to be done by a team viewer by the judges at the Stados residence. This is the mode. I know that this is not going to happen in a day. It will be very few matters in a day, but this step has to be taken so that more and more matters can be placed on board. As far as all matters are concerned, the old matters which are already pending, they can also be placed on the board if all the courts are functioning, particularly the notice and notice returnable matters. 2 or 3 steps may have to be taken. 1, only those matters should be placed on the board which are ready in the form of affidavit in reply and rejoinder. If replies and rejoinders are not there, some via media has to be found out, that directions are issued that the reply is filed within a stipulated date online. Those matters which are to be placed, a separate board should be made of notice and adjourn matters, and that board, when a notice filed for urgent circulation, it should be filed before Thursday, and the board should come up on Friday for the whole week. A separate second board, as it can be called, for notice and returnable matters. This would help both the lawyers and the office staff to arrange the matters in a sequential, in a systematic manner over a period of week. And lawyers can also collect their briefs. Undoubtedly, the lawyers will have to be allowed to go and visit their offices or chambers in the High Court for collecting the briefs. This is in so far as the period during lockdown. Even post-lockdown, certain precautions will have to be taken, and these precautions will have to be taken for a period of time, say 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, we do not know. And this would be in the nature of only lawyers should be permitted to enter the High Court. No client unless he has been directed to remain present by the court, saying contempt matters. Otherwise, he should not be allowed to enter the court. No client should, and no officer of the government should also enter the court. They should remain at the most to the GP office and go back. They should not be entering the court. Even the GP office should be taking instructions online rather than in person. Even in the courtroom, the number of persons present at a time should be the lawyers arguing, their support staff limited to 1 or 2 persons, and 2 or 3 more pairs of lawyers sitting at a distance. For this purpose, the only remedy out would be that all matters should be listed with timings given for hearing so that the lawyers don't need to come to the court. The High Court, tea room and bar room should remain closed. The lawyer who enters must leave the courtroom the moment his matter is over. No socializing, because even otherwise social distancing is the norm. And this is required to be adopted as a matter of course, at least for the next 6 months or 5 months, whatever the period. I am not a judge as to decide what should be the period. It is in this manner only that the court should function. I am not suggesting that video conferencing should be the norm. The norm has to be in-person hearing. But till that time that is possible, the video conferencing is the only way out. With this, I would like to conclude my short response. I would like to also highlight one fact, that some of these suggestions have been forwarded to the High Court by me about 15 days ago. That's all.
Thank you, Mihir and Saurabh. Now, in a manner so that it doesn't become too chaotic, if you, all of you or some of you who have certain questions, you can just pass them on to Archit, who will read it out. And one or the other of our leader speakers, or if I know something, I'll add it. So if there are any questions, now is the time. Please unmute your mic and you can ask the question.
Anshin Bhai has one question. He has posted few questions. Anshin Bhai, if you can...
yeah, please let him go.
Yes. Two things regarding what Mr. Soparkar suggested. Yes, that is right, that you will need some system to be in place. But how is it possible for all lawyers to have scanning machines? At present, even scanning can be done through smartphones, no doubt about it. But for civil cases or appeals, there will be at least 200, 300 pages or a paper book, something. How do you manage to argue these cases, mainly when the injunction, as I understand, has been extended by a blanket order till June 15th. When that has already happened, courier is not functional. Clients are not able to attend court or come for affidavits. How do you manage? And there are almost, as I understand, no civil cases or even criminal cases. All courts are not functional in full force. Then is it necessary to make it a compulsion when, for instance, Mr. Kavina moves an application and I am for the other side, and it is not possible for me to reply or give a file an affidavit and reply something? Can I? Because there are some suggestions by the Bar Association saying that other side has to attend. Now it is not possible at times for the other side to attend by force, that one petitioner or respondent has moved the court, so you must attend. So that anomaly will have to be worked out as far as scanned applications or petitions are concerned. And when the urgency part of it is already lost because of injunctions being extended, and as I understand, anticipatory bail applications are also being considered, that no one will be apprehended or no coercive steps will be taken in these days because the police is overworked already today. So that is one part of it. I'll just make it short again. As far as what Mr. Thakur has suggested, I agree with him in entirety that at least if the old cases are to be taken, then there will be two other issues that staff will have to attend. So how will we go to the office in a period of lockdown and open it up? So that is another issue which needs to be taken care of, and suggestions I had also forwarded to Mr. Kavina probably about 20 points which were to be considered if the court is...
Anshin, they were made part of the representation to the Chief Justice.
All right.
Okay, let me answer Anshin.
Yes.
There are, I believe, two independent issues. One, merely because there are some matters where the record is bulky and it may be very difficult to do digitization, it's not that therefore we will not take up those matters where digitization may not be a problem or the record may not be bulky. Therefore, let me deal with firstly those matters which are not really bulky. They in any case can be taken up. Now, what you are saying is that right now there is no urgency because injunction orders are being extended by a court order. I agree. But that is not going to continue, let's say beyond 15th June or let's say beyond 30th June or 31st July. Someday it is going to come to an end. And on that day, I do not believe that courts will start functioning normally. There is going to be a hiatus, a stopgap during which the blanket injunction will come to an end, and then regular court appearances may not start, because regular court, as we had before March, I don't see any way we will have regular hearings for a year or so. For quite some time, we'll have to live with this kind of pandemic situation. So insofar as matters which can be conveniently be digitized, I think there is no problem. Even where record is bulky, merely because record is bulky, it is not as if we will not have to do it. If we have to do it, we have to do it. As I said, in tax department, records worth thousands of pages, or irrespective of the volume of the size, it has to be done by e-filing. Means e-filing. There is no option. Question is, from where will junior lawyers find wherewithal to be able to do that? And it is here that Bar Association will have to step in, Bar Council will have to step in, seniors will have to step in to see that everybody is in a position to make good that particular facility. Someday we'll have to make a beginning. If we worry about issues which are not the issues which are common for every matter, then probably will not find a solution. I fully agree with you, there are problems and problems. But then unless we move forward and actually try to resolve the problem, we will not find a solution. Secondly, why is it that we are extremely worried about the physical attendance even by a person or two? Please see, we are all comfortably sitting in our home or offices, but it is not as if the world has come to a grinding halt. All essential services have begun. Forget about Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is an exception. But in all areas surrounding to Ahmedabad, factories have opened. People have started going. Even in pharma companies have started operating. So there are organizations which are actually operating. So it's not as if everybody is sitting at home, even by taking necessary precaution. I would slightly disagree with Mihir. Why should we not organize in this manner? 1 or 2 persons can be assigned to a particular judge. They can go to the residence office of the learned judge. They can download the petitions which are allotted to them. They can keep it ready for the learned judge. They may not come into physical contact with the judge per se. Keep the file ready, move out, and then learned judge can take over. It's not as if nobody comes to anybody's home for the purpose of delivering things or giving papers or etc. Everybody gets by and large newspapers. I know some of us may not be reading newspapers, but it is not as if you never come into contact with people. Everybody goes out to buy milk or groceries. So to say that if a registry person will go to the residence of the judge for the purpose of reading the papers of the matter which the learned judge has to handle, there is going to be catastrophe. Frankly, with respect, I don't really agree with it. And in any case, even we'll have to train our learned judges, or we'll have to request them to train themselves to read papers on a paperless file. They will have to gear themselves with the digital files to be read, and eventually we will have to move everything to digital if this continues for a longer period. That's how I would look at the matter.
I will just supplement. I am not, I would like to correct myself. I am not saying that it is so dangerous, but it is essential that judges also start reading soft copies. 1. 2, if 20 courts have to function, and if 2 people have to go to each courtroom, it will become physically impossible for the registry to function.
That's right.
It is why it becomes essential that they start reading the papers on soft copies, not because of the risk alone. This
No,
is
what
Why didn't you talk about the e-bundle system?
I will talk now. There is a system which can be very easily adopted, which is called Acrobat. Undoubtedly, it is 1,000 rupees a month. I'm not disputing it, but all this can be worked up financially. How it can be done, we have to work out. It can be done by the bar council. The senior lawyers can contribute to the purchase of scanners. They can contribute to the purchase of such software. But these softwares are of this nature, whereby all PDF files which are uploaded would have a hyperlink. So the moment you go to say paragraph 3 of the petition, and there is an annexure A annexed to it, the person clicks annexure A, the judge or the lawyer, he will immediately go to the annexure A which he can read. This will facilitate both the lawyers and the judges in reading the petition in soft copy. This will have to be adopted as a matter of routine if we have to function in this manner. And I can tell you that I have the experience of Delhi High Court. There are some courts in Delhi High Court where I have argued with hard copies in my hand, but judges did not have a single paper. They were hearing the matter with all the files in the computer, and they were able to immediately go to the page number referred by me without any difficulty. So it is possible. We have to go towards that.
Sir, Pathik Acharya has a question that in an email attachment, the maximum file which can be sent is 25 MB. So how to solve that difficulty?
Percy, would like to take up?
No, I don't have the answer to this.
I will have an answer. The simple answer would be that High Court has to make it functional with a cloud so that everything is uploaded in the cloud.
I would believe that all these technical glitches will have a solution. We will have to get an expert. When I say I mean High Court and the bar will have to find an expert who will have to give suggestions. If the whole business world has now essentially moved to video conferencing, why can High Court cannot, or why can courts not go into video mode of arguments? Stepgap, I understand maybe stopgap, but today it's not as if the business world or world has come to a grinding halt. Businesses have started in a large number of areas. The work has actually started. If some of you must have read TCS, the biggest IT company of the country, is now going to ensure that 75% of people will work from home. They are going to cut down their offices by 75%. Now, if this is the kind of development, I'm sure with efforts we will be able to solve every technical problem. There has to be a will. If there is a will, there is bound to be a way.
But see, I have the question.
Please go ahead, Prakash bhai.
Mihir bhai, Saurabh bhai, you have given extraordinary presentations and very good informations. My question is that there are almost 5,000 advocates in the High Court of Gujarat, and many young advocates are the first family advocates who do not have any background. In these situations, how do you create a level playing field for the young lawyers and those who do not have wherewithals, as Saurabh, you pointed out? First, I would say that is it any mechanism by which such things are provided? First, training, and secondly, providing the infrastructure.
Prakash bhai, let me take an answer like this. That there are some people who are technologically challenged, who are challenged by way of their ability or financial wherewithal. But they will have to learn to adapt. We as a class of lawyers acting through the association will assist them. For example, the program which Mihir said, we might negotiate to buy it in bulk. And if it costs 1,000, we'll get it at a discounted price. But these are new methods which we'll have to learn, because whether we like it or not, e-filing is here to stay. I think that we must remember. Everybody is going away from paperless offices. So the equipping of young lawyers is, of course, an issue which has to be answered. But it is a tactical issue. Once we have the strategic framework, then within that, all the technical glitches, there are lots of experts whose names I see here. And with their input, we'll be able to do a fantastic job.
And Prakash, no, let me put it this way. 2 months back, nobody had heard the word Zoom. 2 months back, if we were told that 50, 60, 100, 500 people will meet on a video conference, we would have laughed at that thought. And today, this has become a common thing. So necessity is mother of invention. If it is felt there is no way out, we will have to find a solution. And today, I believe there is no way out. If we cannot sit back and say, junior will have a problem and therefore will not address the issue, we'll have to find a solution to the problem of junior. But then
that is what I am saying. I am not opposed to technology or these new situations.
No, Prakash, that's what I'm saying. We will have to start addressing the problem from the junior's point of view also. What is it that they want? If they want training, the bar will have to provide training. If they need funds, we'll have to provide funds. If they need equipment, we'll have to provide equipments. We will have to do that. I'm not saying some will move forward and others will lag behind. Everyone will have to be given level playing field. But that is an obligation on us, on the senior members of the bar, which we will have to undertake. But then taking that obligation and with a sense of fulfilling that obligation, we must move forward. And we will have to tell the court that, sir, please now go forward and take steps for the purpose of reopening this institution, which is practically being closed down for almost 2 months now.
Very nice of you, Saurabh. Thank you. Thank you.
Manish has to say, Manish, but we'll have to unmute.
Yeah. See, today we are at 0. Instead, as all has said, that we'll have to start with 1. So today, if there are only 5 benches, let all benches sit. Maybe initially hiccups are going to be there, but that will be for 15 days, 20 days, number 1. Number 2, this COVID thing is not a thing which is just going to be evaporated by, let's say, 15th of June or 30th of June. We'll have to get used to this. So I'm taking this, if we start from 1, let's say all the benches are sitting, maybe small filing, but then also let's say even 10 matters taken up by a bench, orders passing only 10 matters, 20 benches sitting, just like the usual roster, division bench, single bench, etc. Maybe some accommodation is also given by the benches also. They also have to be a little cooperative. But then 200 matters are taken up a day. And then it can rise to, and then time frames can be fixed. And as everybody has rightly said, some infrastructure, some assistance from both institution and the bar. The seniors also should come together, pool up the resources to ensure that infrastructure is made available to the juniors as well. No issues. But at least let's start something. That's what I wanted to say.
In this context, I just wanted to say that there is one question regarding big offices would be able to start the practice. No, it should be such that all can start practice. 2 aspects. Scanners can be installed at the High Court level so that each one can utilize the scanners. 2, the second part is that if the clients themselves send PDF files by email, there is no requirement of scanner. Then you have to only bundle those files in a PDF and upload it. Then you don't need a scanner. So it all depends on how you want to handle the situation, but both things can be taken care of.
See, what I'm suggesting is that if we can prepare the modalities and send it to the High Court, that these are the suggestions on which something can be worked on. Let them also start the thinking process. Today there is no thinking process worth the name.
But I have already sent almost everything to the High Court about 15 days ago.
I find on the chat box a message from our Secretary Hardik Brahmbhatt, which I will read. This is not from me, this is for Hardik Brahmbhatt. With a collaboration with NASSCOM, we as an association are planning to organize a webinar for training for IT solutions and some new ideas for smooth functioning and some more user-friendly system which we may adopt. That's a very good step. And apart from webinar, maybe it will be one webinar, we may have to have multiple webinars, but we will have to make people techno savvy. There is no option but to make them techno savvy. And those who will not be techno savvy, let me say with a very sorry state of affair, they will be wiped out. There is no solution but to be technologically now good enough to be able to practice.
Good morning, everyone. I am Saurabh Mehta. I want to say only one thing, that all seniors are in a loco parentis position. So all of them have to take into consideration the junior aspects also, that all juniors may also continue their practices. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Okay, there is one chartered accountant friend of mine who is participating here. He is a very leading chartered accountant of Rajkot. He says he can share very briefly his experience of how chartered accountants upgraded themselves to e-filing seamlessly. Would we like to hear? Then I'll ask him to step in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Deepak, you can be very brief and indicate as to how this happened, that from physical filing, e-filing became very easy. Deepak Rindani is the gentleman. Unmute karo.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Deepak Rindani.
Deepak, I can't hear you. You are not audible. No, you are not audible. Okay, I think you are not audible. We'll have to skip that. If you can make a short note and send it to us, Bar will be very happy to understand from you.
Morning all. Saurabh bhai and Mihir bhai, thank you very much. But can you also work on some time frame in training of lawyers, etc.? Thank you.
I would not know. It's only for the technical people who will be able to give that answer, unless Mihir has some information.
I think even the High Court can put some training programs on YouTube for the benefit of all lawyers. High Court can do it, the computer department of the government can do it. I believe that there are so many opportunities where this can be done, and this can be
NIC
online.
Can do it. NIC can do it.
Yes, it can be online training how to do it.
So there is question by Mr. Harish Metalia. It is with respect of taking assistance of any IT professional who can manage, if there are more than 500 pages, to convert it in PDF, etc. So can we take assistance of any IT professional, and how do we go ahead with it?
I think anybody can take any assistance, but I believe that you will not require assistance if you are properly trained. It is not that difficult. Even a 500-page petition can be properly bundled together. You have to just work on it.
May I come in?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I was thinking that right now what the High Court does is that they take up only those matters which the registry considers to be urgent. I think everything which is filed in PDF or online filing is done. All those matters can be taken up now. Why to have that vacation kind of a history? So that is something which we must insist upon. If I am, for example, after 15th, if there is relaxation, if I'm able to go to my office, I have to scan a few documents or assist others in scanning documents. And if those, even if those matters which are pending, if they are converted into e-files, then those matters can certainly be taken up and all judges can start working within a week or so.
Deepak bhai, are you online now?
Deepak, is it?
Yes. Am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're better.
Megha, in a bit, huh?
Sure.
So you should identify yourself. I can recognize your voice. Video mute ho to nahi cover. Deepak bhai, sorry, please continue.
Yeah, we were in the same situation as the lawyers are today about 5-7 years back. And I can say with experience that a chartered accountant in the smallest of the town of India adapted to the new requirement quite seamlessly, and they responded pretty well. So once it is, there is a system in place, and once it is made mandatory, I'm sure the technological tools are easily available all around of all kinds, even without in the pre-COVID situation, to be able to handle this kind of situation. Because in your cases, you don't need to even use any sophisticated software, unlike us for text computation or audit report preparation or Excel, etc. So this is all the tools are easily available. I am very positive that even the younger the lawyer is, he would be more techno savvy. On the contrary, their level will more easily be able to do it. So your staff, your juniors will be much more adept, and I'm quite sure that the system can easily work. And I don't see any difficulty here. Just as we were new to computers at one point of time, this is just e-filing and e-appearance. So I think this should not be any difficulty at all as per my personal experience. And even Saurabh knows that for e-court also, we have been doing quite easily and seamlessly in Rajkot with a linkage to Ahmedabad over last 3 years. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. Archit, Paunoy Ben would like to say something. Unmute karjane.
Yes, Paunoy Ben.
Yes, I don't know what suggestions have been incorporated in representation, but I must say, because I'm not very techno savvy, but as say, compulsion has taught me everything. And today I'm conducting matter through video conferencing. So same way, and as far as juniors are concerned, what I feel that juniors are more techno savvy than us, so they can learn easily. Even scanning machine, it's not very expensive. Yes, that can be help to them. Like I bought 20,000 and it is very fast. So 50-60 pages you can just finish in half an hour, 1 hour. So that can also be taken care of for the juniors. But as Megha said, I also agree that all courts start functioning. Only then it will be allocated as per business wise. And they can take copies at their residence or wherever they are. So why IT department have to take copies for them if they want physical copies? So all these things can be, and Meerbhai said ki PDF you don't require to scan. Yes, I also agree, because page numbers you can also give on PDF and even on petitions or plain. So there is no requirement to print them at your end and scan them and then upload. It becomes easy when you do it directly from the computer. So all these suggestions can be given to the juniors and it becomes easy for them. They don't require even scanning machine, or scanning machine is not expensive. So because one scanning machine or 2 scanning machines will not help if you put it in the library. It will require in large numbers.
The situation is, if the clients send the papers by PDF, by email, you don't need a scanner at all.
Exactly.
The requirement of scanner is only provided you have to scan it. So wherever client is coming without papers, with papers but not email, then scanning machine may be required. So in every case with 700 pages, scanner may not be required.
Exactly.
And now orders of the trial court, lower court, they're all available on soft copy. So we will not have to do scanning in relation to that soft copy at all. That's to a large extent. I'm not saying in every matter, but to a large extent, it may not be necessary also.
There is, may I?
Yes, Megha, please.
Yeah, there's one more suggestion. Now, as I understand, the registry insists that every page is signed by the advocate. So which requires printing the papers. What Meerbhai said, that if the client sends PDF, it can just be uploaded. So this, a simple letter, like what we used to do earlier, that they would always be saying that these are the true copies. So the requirement of signing every paper can be dispensed with when we upload files.
One more. Everything can be signed also in a soft copy.
No,
by Aadhaar number. It is possible to do it.
Now digital signature has become a norm. You cannot be a director of the company unless you have taken digital signature. There are large number. You can't file your return of income unless you have got a digital signature. So HighCourt should also go for the digital signatures.
Yes.
You don't need a physical signature at all.
And even, while those, those who do not have need to do it, learn it for the time being, we are talking about a period which would be a few months. So during that period, that requirement of putting signature, digital or physical, on every paper can be dispensed with if the lawyer puts a note and says that these are all pages which I have seen and I have uploaded consciously. So that requirement is a simple thing, but it can be done, I think.
All these suggestions must go to the High Court and registry. Archit, I would suggest at the end of this talk or seminar, you can prepare a detailed minutes kind of a thing, and after getting it approved from Mihir, Percy, etc., you can then give it to the Chief Justice and the registry. Something needs to be done in this direction.
Meanwhile, can I come in?
Yes, certainly.
What is the feedback of the registry and the judiciary?
Dharmishta Ben, please identify yourself. Everybody may not.
I'm Dharmishta Rawal. What is the feedback from the judiciary and the registry? Are they prepared to move forward? Because I think the lawyers might somehow try and equip themselves, but unless the registry and the judiciary are willing, things will not move forward. Ne?
Well, I do not know what is the response from the judiciary, but I am informed that judges are asking for hard copies of all documents. That much I am aware. I am not aware of any other response. The suggestions were welcomed, but I do not think any further steps have been taken in that direction.
But we'll have to persuade them to change their mindset also, even if they are not willing. We'll have to persuade them.
Darshan Bhai has a question. Darshan Bhai.
Haji. The question with respect to documents being sent by the clients in PDF format or already by way of emailing them is a myth, according to me, because all those corporate clientele which may be there, they may be able to do it, or sophisticated offices, clients working in sophisticated offices may be able to do it, but 50% or more than 50% of the clientele is such which does not have a facility even of a printer in their setup. Therefore, this appears to be a misnomer that if client sends, then we don't have to really.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying that a fast scanner may not be required. There are two types of clients. Some clients will not be able to send by email. Some clients will be able to send by email.
Yes, yes, that is possible. I agree. I agree.
Those scanners can also function.
Another thing that is that may be a difficult thing in the sense that we are saying that we must have setup of scanners, etc., at the bar room or library or somewhere like that. Now, till the time there is a reopening possible, such scanners, even if put up, may not be able to be used by everyone. Therefore, that also may be a proposition which may create issues. And the basic proposition is that the High Court registry or maybe even the judges, as I hear the talks from various persons who have faced music. I have not filed any matter or gone to the registry, so I would not know. But they are taking such kind of objections which are very difficult to remove.
You're right, Darshan bhai. એ લોકો pre e-filing na objection પણ આમાં લે છે.
Considering that particular proposition, it would be virtually impossible, like signing each lawyer or even digitizing, digital signaturing it. So even if we have received it from the client on a PDF format or a loadable format, it would be, again, will have to be printed at our place, again scanned and sent with a signature. All those.
Mr. Parikh, can I respond for a minute to your suggestion?
Yes.
If 10 copies are sent to you by email, And if you have an Adobe Acrobat professional, all of them can be bundled with number, paginated, ready for you without again scanning them or requiring to print them.
Good. That answer is a very attractive answer, and I would go by that. I'm merely trying to raise issues which have can find solutions to those questions.
Sir,
thank you.
Mr. Bandish,
may I say something, sir?
Mr. Bandish Choparkar has put one question. A Zoom meeting was held by ex-Advocate General of Bombay High Court and the sitting judge of Bombay High Court 2 weeks ago, where they had openly discussed the issues faced by filing and conducting matters from both sides. Should we also not have open conversation with registry and judges to understand the issue and work out a plan?
I certainly would like the judges to participate in this, but in our setup, the distance between the bench and the bar is a little more, and there is no informal way of approaching. But certainly the leaders of our bar, those of whom are present here, can talk the sense of this meeting to those judges and invite a fresh round, whereby those judges who are enabled, maybe the top few judges or maybe even the Chief Justice, may participate in this, and or the Registrar Judicial, and just take everybody's views and share their difficulties with us. We'll have to bridge that gap between the bar and the bench. Thank you.
May I say something myself? Hello. Sir, as in the opening statement made by Shri, as in the opening statement by Shri Mihir Bhai, he suggested that this pandemic situation certainly is not going to be, it is going to be there still for 2-3 months or 4 months. Now, can't we start, can't the court start functioning with social distancing as suggested by Mihir Bhai, maybe after 10 or 15 days, like with few lawyers in the courtroom, five lawyers sitting in the different benches, and then we can start maybe after 10 days or 15 days. In any case, it is not going to be. In any case, it is not going to be over after 2 or 3 months, and we are going to plan that physical.
I think the response to that will have to come from the High Court. At what time this can be started? Whether it can be started after 15 days, after 1 month, it is not possible for us to judge, because I was informed that even without a single lawyer in the High Court, there were 250 to 300 persons in the High Court, comprising of the SRP staff and the persons who are cleaning the High Court. Total number was more than 250 at the High Court staff. So when it can function with social distancing, it will have to be a call which will have to be taken by the judiciary and the lawyers together, perhaps.
Mihir, can I come in? Dharmishta Rawal here.
Yes, yes.
Dharmishta, ma'am.
Yeah, can you unmute me?
Yes, Dharmishta.
Yeah, so I was informed that the High Court has formed a committee of 3 honorable judges. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
I was informed that the High Court has formed a committee of 3 honorable judges, that is Justice Bela Trivedi, Justice Bhargav Karya, and Justice Sonia Gokani, for the purposes of trying to ensure that the High Court goes towards e-filing and e-hearing. If some of the senior lawyers, senior counsels can take up with these issues with the committee of the High Court, then I think it's probably easier to move forward in this direction. There are going to be problems. We are committed to solve them, but we need to move them, because as Saurabh Bhai said, we need to find solutions, and we will. But unless the High Court comes with the picture, it's going to be difficult to step forward. Thank you.
I agree, but then for that, we have to be invited, or we have to ensure that we get invited there. Or I'm sure we'll have to take some steps in that direction, and eventually I'm sure they will consult us. But yes, you are right. I'm not aware of, or I was not aware of any such committee. Now that we are informed about the committee, we'll try to find somehow or other to get an access to the committee and see as to whether or not we can put up our suggestions.
Mr. Bijal,
may I speak something?
Mr. Bijal Chhatrapati has some suggestions.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bijal Chhatrapati. I have sent an email to the panelists giving practical suggestions for the filing process. Since it's a little bit long, if one of you can put it up on the screen. These are practical suggestions as to what is the nature of PDF, that it has to be selectable PDF, that it needs to be hyperlinked, how the bookmarks are to be done, how the annexures should be named, so that there is a consistency of process and ease for the judges also to read and read a particular page or a document. I've emailed to all the three of you.
Okay, let me share that screen. I'll share in 1 minute. In the meantime, someone else can have a go so that I will keep that ready.
Vishal bhai, you had a question. Vishal Thakkar.
Good morning, everyone. What I was suggesting, what I felt was like I had a discussion in one of the groups in one Zoom meetings that one advocate, in fact, it started delivering foods in Swiggy. So the conditions of advocate also is not that good, and there are certain advocates who will not be wishing to go for the funds that are collected by the Advocates Association. So closing down this constitutional institution at times, I feel that when our High Court is the pillar of the functioning of the state, opening it would be like, as Palak said and as Mihir bhai suggested, with social distancing and certain norms, like we have got our sanitization chamber, we have got the car sanitization machine over there, what they were discussing. And also they were discussing that the files will be sanitized. If at all certain things can be worked out, closing down this institution will be of no good meaning. That is what I feel.
Okay, I have got the screen sharing possible, so let me do that. This is the mail that Bijal has sent. Briefly, it says document must be single PDF. It must be okay. This is essentially as to how you can have conveniently a PDF file containing large number of annexures at one go and easily accessible. This is a good technical advice. So instead of reading the technical advice, it will be meaningless for us. What I will do is I will share this with Archit, and he can make it available to all who are present over here by putting it in an appropriate manner, either by mail or otherwise. Otherwise, the mail is already on my screen, so whoever would like to read that can have a look at the mail. But frankly, I am a little lost because I find it is seriously technical, and unless we are actually going in real time and do this, it will not be possible for us to fully appreciate it.
Salil bhai had a few suggestions. Salil bhai, if you can.
How I know that everybody will have to adapt to this, but how is this going to be more expensive for anybody when CAM scanner is available? I feel that in fact this may save some costs because there are costs involved in physical filing like photocopying charges, fuel, clerkage, etc. So those who cannot afford will save those costs. So my question is how does this system become more expensive for a person who cannot afford?
I would say that it may not be more expensive in long run. In short run, it may be a little more expensive because a person may have to do both soft copy filing as well as a hard copy filing. That is why it may become a little more expensive. But in long run, when everything is by way of soft copy, it will be less expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, we have got Aditya Bhatt, who is one of the most techno-savvy gentlemen of the bar. He has put in on the chat that if everyone wants to see how the internal linkages, hyperlinks and bookmarks may be made, I can share my screen and demonstrate.
Yes, Aditya, I have unmuted you, so you can.
Yes.
You can.
Just give me a minute. I share my screen in a moment.
He is one of the most techno-savvy. I learned that he is, in fact, a computer engineer who has entered our profession. So when I gave the first seminar at the bar, he helped me a lot. And then I was surprised at the depth of his knowledge, and he said he's a computer engineer.
Sir, yes, developed one software where you can access your entire course list for a month weekly.
Now I'm sharing my screen. My screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, but blank right now. Now it's visible.
Yeah. Suppose if this is the petition, if I just click on this part, I'm straight away directed to the annexure A. Now, suppose if I want to travel to annexure B, I can click here. Now, somewhere, if I am reading from my petition, and if I want to, like, I'm reading and I come across annexure A Collie, and I just want to go there, I can go. So, if simply I click, I will be straight away taken to the annexure A. The same way, suppose if there are annexure, it's a Collie, then we can like have F1 and F2. So I have actually, this is annexure F, wherein I have attached 2 judgments. So this is the internal link. This is the sub bookmark of a bookmark. So this is how, if we are arguing the matter from a PDF, then it is very easily possible to straight away take the quote to the particular point, and we can have reverse bookmarks also. So suppose I go to annexure A, and once again I want to resume to the point from where I had taken the quote to annexure A, then we can have the reverse bookmarks also. So this is how, if we make our PDFs, then it is very easily possible that we can argue through e-files only.
Aditya, we have 2 questions. One, how difficult it is to understand this, and 2, how expensive it is to install this kind of a system.
I find that it will require some maybe 15 minutes of learning, but it is possible.
Okay. And expense part?
I believe right now, as Mihir sir suggested, it costs 1,000 rupees a month, but
okay,
we can find out certain free solutions also. There must be some free solution. And hypothetically, if there is no free solution, then also you are saving a lot of clerical and paper cost.
Correct. Archit, maybe we can have an independent webinar of Aditya, right, sir, to explain to our members, those of us who are interested in this, in being techno savvy to begin with. Maybe in this seminar, it may not be possible for us to accommodate a detailed 1 hour or 45 minutes talk on this issue, but we should have another independent webinar exclusively devoted to be techno savvy. So he will take us step by step as to what is it that we need to understand. That's how we'll have to learn. We'll have to learn from everyone. I do not know means I do not know. I must acknowledge I don't know, and I will have to be ready to learn from whoever is an expert in that field.
And I'll just add on that this is not a new technology. I have used it about 10 years ago in an arbitration where I could go to any document by hyperlinking in a minute.
Correct. So we must understand from Aditya.
Not that difficult.
I'm sure he'll be happy.
To it.
I'm sure he'll be happy to share with us his knowledge. So we must understand from him which is the best way of finding the solutions to this problem.
Sir, I have shared one link, that is smallpdf.com. Most of the issues which are being faced by the lawyers, it can be solved by free. This is a free solution, and most of the problems can be solved. Although bookmarking requires a paid version, but rest of all the problems can be solved by this website.
I would suggest to Archit that we can have an independent, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour webinar, and we can involve more number of lawyers also. Today, we don't have, let's say we have 100 people over here who are only interested in finding out problems of codes not being resumed. Now we are looking at a slightly different problem, how to solve the problem of being techno savvy. So we can then tell all lawyers and whoever is interested, including maybe in the lower courts, in the webinar, whoever would like to join, they can join and learn from you. It will be very good on your part to share knowledge.
Sure, definitely. I would like to share my knowledge.
Thank you very much.
It can be in the form of tutorial so that anyone can access it. He
can give, so to say, instruction in advance that everyone should keep the computer ready with this program, so that everyone will go step by step with him and understand it very easily.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Hardik.
I am right now. I am the day-to-day in between, the link between the advocates and the registry for day-to-day functioning. I can understand what is the problem are facing by the advocates. So that's why I contact some professionals with NASCOM, and we are trying within 2 or 3 days special webinar with each and every issues which we are facing from the start, from the typing to deliver to the email filing and everything. Each and every step we will prepare a tutorial by video, and also we have the Zoom association have the paid version of Zoom. We have unlimited time and more people can join in our platform. So within a day or two, or within 3-4 days, we will definitely organize a webinar for educate the people.
I think that's a very good and right step, Hardik bhai. Compliments to you, and I'm sure people will love to learn the things from every possible corner.
Thank you.
Saurabh sir, my suggestion is, should there not be a composite meeting of judges, senior members of the bar, and learned advocate general, president of the bar, so that everybody is on the same page? And
we should do that. We will now activate that. See, once we have got now this consensus from this group of lawyers, we will now involve judges also, and we'll try to find out from them how do we resolve this problem.
Definitely we'll do that. Thank you.
I think if there are no other questions, we can close.
I think it's high time we should close, because I think most of the questions are repetitive as I am seeing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, I think we can close now. There are no any new questions or suggestions. Thank you very much.
Ones you can just put to somebody, and if they want to ask.
Yes, if any participant want to ask any question.
This is Bhushan Oza. My only suggestion is that we should have another round of webinar as early as possible after consulting all the concerned. Thank you.
Yeah, we should try and persuade the judges also to participate, which would be very useful. But hopefully we will get them to participate.
On the lighter side, I had given that suggestion, but my suggestion was shot down by my friends Mihir and Percy, so that didn't happen. But I'm sure that our next webinar will have some learned judges as well. Ajit, you can go ahead and have vote of thanks.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sir, may I comment, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I am just want to put a suggestion that since country like Japan and all, like, if they can follow a discipline, even institution like us who are so sophisticated, like, why can't we also have a system where we can adopt this new normalcy and go with the regular system? Yes, adopting e-filing system is appreciated and we should adopt that. But other than that, shouldn't we now regularize the system now? Shouldn't at least the regular rosters can be followed? And also, if we can limit the rosters, or at least the board systems can be, the number of cases can be limited to till certain extent. Can
I respond to you?
Yes, sir, please.
I have suggested at one point of time that courts should reopen as and when it can. I'm not saying when, because that is not for me to judge, depending on the situation in Ahmedabad. But as and when it can reopen, it can be with 20 matters per court, and each matter having a specific time, say 11, 11:15, 11:30, and no lawyer should enter the courtroom before 11:15. If his time is at 1:30, he has to enter only at 1:30. The earlier matter can be going on. To that extent, there can be one more lawyer in the courtroom. That's all.
Right. So
have been made. That has to be.
In fact, I have got a whole host of suggestions as to what can be done if the courts are to reopen. I can very briefly read out. There should be thermal temperature screening at the gate. There should be availability of sanitizers. Everybody should wear mask. There should be limited entry. There should be distance in sitting, so on and so forth. But then this is, I believe, premature, because till the court decides to reopen, any discussion on this is completely misplaced. Maybe bar can again have some such discussion before the courts actually start to reopen, so that we can again give some other set of suggestions. Today, I believe the suggestions are ripe for the purpose of beginning hearing at least by video conferencing. Physical hearing will take its own time, but it is on a video conferencing the courts should start functioning. That was, I believe, the main purpose of the webinar today. That's how I addressed the whole issue.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Mr. Mihir Thakur, Mr. Saurabh Soparkar, Mr. Percy Kavina for their valuable suggestion and thoughts. Thank you to all the participants. Thank you to Mr. Hardik Brahmbhatt and Mr. Aditya Bhatt for their valuable inputs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.